All right, you guys, we are here in Dickinson, Texas. We're gonna take you through some of the houses we are here volunteering with 8 Days of Hope. And we are taking you to some of the houses that 8 Days of Hope has been working on. They've assessed over 200 plus homes and worked on over 70 already. So see, this house, I wanna give you guys kind of now I'm learning. If the water raises all the way, how many inches would you say this was, Cameron?
This is probably about 2 feet.
2 feet. So they have to take, because the mold rose all the way, they had to take all the way up to the roof. So they're preparing this one now. And see, then they clean it all out and get it prepped for the contractors to come in and help rebuild. So let me flip it around so you guys can see me. So it's been a whirlwind. This is Cameron. She's actually one of the daughters of one of the leaders here at 8 Days of Hope. So she's been hanging out with us. And see, I'm gonna show you guys and I'm gonna flip it around again. So they've got fans blowing and they also have dehumidifiers because everything has to be dry. You see how there's still just a ton of water here. So there's a lot of work to be done still. And obviously now with Irma, my goodness, you guys. So they're really, really looking for people that can volunteer. They really, really need hands. So if you guys, I know it's kind of hard to get here, but Corey and I found tickets that were not even that expensive. And they have free lodging and food. All your meals are covered. So they have volunteers from 7 or 38 different states? 38 different states are represented here. And then also there was a volunteer all the way from New Zealand. So pretty remarkable. I'll show you guys. So when the water comes in, what happens is, see the flooring, it buckles like this. So it's all got to come up. So there's a lot of work to do. But see this room, see all the sheetrock still has to come off. It's pretty, I guess I didn't really understand how bad it really was. And then you come here and you're just pretty amazed because there's just so much work that goes into this. And you don't realize, you know, because sometimes hurricanes are just, what we are learning is sometimes hurricanes are more wind than rain. But this one was so much rain that the water and the mold is what is really, really detrimental and really dangerous because you can't be breathing in all that mold. So there's a lot of people. We've gotten some incredible stories, but we are actually, Corey, come say hello.
How's it going?
Come say hi over here.
You guys,
how's it going, guys?
I'm currently updating my story on my Instagram story, so you can go check that out. You can see a little of the footage I've been doing from this past yesterday, so you can catch up on what we've been up to. But just check out on Instagram. I'll be going live later too. But we're here just narrating, bringing you right in on the ground level of what's going on here in Houston, and hopefully inspiring people to take some action. Whatever you can do, we pray that you do something. It's easy, and we're going to show you how easy it is to get involved.
Yeah, which actually I want to share with you guys a little bit. I'll probably have been repeating myself, but I had reached out to, I'd say, 6 or 7 different organizations to help. Corey and I just really knew that we wanted to give our time because we have it, and that's a blessing. So we knew that we wanted to volunteer for a few days. And to be honest, I reached out a long time ago because we would have had more time had we heard back sooner. But they all responded, with the exception of this one, they had all responded with, oh, well, if you're not local, we don't really, you know, we're not accepting volunteers that aren't local. So we weren't able to get in touch with anyone that was willing to let us come except for 8 Days of Hope. So that's why we are super grateful to have been introduced to 8 Days of Hope, and what they're doing is remarkable. But I want you guys to hear from some of the people. Like, all the workers are on a break right now, which is perfect, so you guys can hear from them. There's a couple guys that are getting ready to head back to Ohio, so they've got a 19-hour drive. So I wanted to kind of introduce you guys to them so you guys can hear kind of some stories of what they've been working on. So here we go. Look at all this debris and trash. Then the trash companies have to come and pick everything up. There's just a lot. A whole lot. Hey guys.
Hey.
You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Go ahead, John. John Himes from Bolivar, Ohio.
Bolivar, Ohio.
Jerry Graham, New Philadelphia, Ohio.
Cameron Miller, Berlin, Ohio.
Isaiah Hayford, Louisville, Ohio.
You guys are all Ohio.
Jay Jacobson, Sugar Creek, Ohio.
Oh, okay. So you guys are like the Ohio group.
The Ohio group.
And there's so much more.
1,300 miles.
Wow. And a few of you guys were telling me earlier that you guys are heading back here in what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you guys been here?
Tuesdays when we left.
7 days.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Wow, 7 days. So you guys are, so were you able to just take time off work? Or I think a lot of people are just wondering just from...
Took time off work to come down and help the folks down here.
It's amazing.
My company actually, Wednesday, I decided I wanted to come down, made a bunch of phone calls, and from Wednesday to Friday afternoon, my company actually rented a van, gave us gas,
Wow.
and made sure that I had wages for the time that I was off. So
And what do you guys do for work? I'm just curious.
I work in a rubber factory, part-time police officer on the side.
Wow.
I'm retired.
There's a lot of retirees, which is, no, that honestly blows my mind. There was a gentleman at one of the last sites, I mean, he was in his 80s. If
Yes.
that's not something that kind of wakes you up a little bit,
Yes.
I'm going, come on, guys. We all, I mean, I think our country really needs us to rise at this time, but...
There's no excuse.
Right. I feel like they were even saying, you know, some people are saying, oh, well, I only have, you know, the weekend or I only have a day. And they're like, that is so helpful. One extra pair of hands. 8 Days of Hope has the ability to feed and lodge 500 volunteers, you guys. And they said they're under 180 right now. So they're not even at half. So the goal of Corey and I being here, getting the word out, spreading the word. You know, Corey is a writer for HuffPost. We're just really helping to spread the word. So if you guys can help get the word out. But yeah, these gentlemen are getting ready to hit on a 19-hour road trip back to Ohio. Pretty amazing. So I want you guys to share some stories, whoever wants to go.
I got into volunteering with 8 Days of Hope a little over a year ago. One of the executive leaders goes to our church, and he invited me on the trip, and I had never heard of 8 Days of Hope, but once you experience a trip like this, you just can't stay at home and watch TV.
Right.
And sit on the couch. It's you're supposed to love your neighbor, and it doesn't mean right next door. You can go clear across country.
Absolutely. Yeah, what do you guys think that... I think that the word hope to a lot of people that you guys have been encountering, I mean, and us too, just in a small capacity, what do you think has been kind of the response from a lot of the people?
People, right after a flood like this, they're devastated and they don't know where to turn. And when an organization like this comes in and they see that we're here to help, it gives them hope. And if they didn't believe in God before, they do now.
Right.
So it's as much a reward for us as what the blessing that we give them. They in turn bless us.
Right. I think that's exactly, in my experience, in serving, you know, in just even whatever capacity that looks like. I mean, I've worked with a lot of, my parents were missionaries, so I kind of grew up, it's in my DNA, it's ingrained in me to serve. And I think that what people sometimes don't even understand is that you could be going through the hardest stuff, whatever that is. We all go through it all. But then you get done with something like this, and you're like, who's serving who, actually?
Right.
They could be almost in a worse off situation, but it could be so healing for your heart that that's, I think, exactly what God wants. And I think he's been sending some pretty clear messages, too. You know, what's been going on in our country. And the whole thing is that we're on the same team. Our whole world needs us, you know? And so, you know, here we are in Houston, but it's really across the earth. You know, there's Nepal and Bangladesh and all these people that, I mean, the flooding is killing thousands. So as much as, you know, we had structures that were preventing that kind of thing, as far as death tolls and stuff, I think it's just time for us to rise. That's the goal, is to really like stop with the BS. Like, why are we fighting about stuff that is so irrelevant? And so, yeah. But, yeah, do you guys have any special stories? That's something that sticks out. Okay, after the last 7 days. 7 days! You guys have served for 7
I think
days.
my biggest thing was, I didn't know what to expect coming down here. You know, it's always up in the air when you're with a group of people how everyone will get along, not just in a situation like this, which is probably like in the perfect environment for people to not get along or people to get frustrated at times, because the work is pretty cumbersome. It's pretty labor-related work. But to come down here and have the group that we had, I didn't know anyone into this. You know, a lot of us, none of us met before.
Really? So you guys are just all from Ohio, but you guys just randomly met out here?
We all kind of, most of us, some of us, them knew each other, but most of us just kind of met and came together as a group in Ohio.
Wow.
And we had our leader, and everybody, after the first day, which was a very intense day, pretty bad situation, pretty far gone home, everyone gelled, and I think we've just gotten better as a whole unit. So for me to go home and take that idea of unity and the willingness of people to just get together and do their thing, I think I get as much out of this when I get home. I think once I get home and I get back with my family, I think this will all set in, and I'll realize that I was supposed to be here with these people at this time. And I think once people experience that, they'll come back and they'll do it again.
Absolutely.
So that's my hope, that, you know, I've put stuff on social media, you know, just to try and get people to see, hey, this is what's going on.
Exactly.
Be a part of this. So my hope is people that see us out in the community, not only the faces of the homeowners themselves when they see us show up, and they see us circle up and hold hands in prayer, and I think that the neighbors around them that see that, you know, I hope they go somewhere else and try to be a part of that, because I think it's a big impact.
I agree. What about you guys?
For me, I had never heard of 8 Days of Hope until the Sunday before the Tuesday morning we left. So I found out about it Sunday and signed up a couple hours later, and the work was gracious enough to allow me the time off, so
That's amazing.
cool with it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's really cool, because I think a lot of people are wondering, okay, how can we help? You know, like I said, my husband and I, we were saying, we'll buy the flights. Where do we show up? Just, I'm not going to name the organizations that we reached out to, but it was, it was like 10. And I'm still getting emails while we're out here already saying, oh, if you're not local, you know, don't worry about it. Not that they don't need us necessarily, just we don't have lodging for you. We're like, we are willing, this is kind of our tithe right now. This is what we're treating as our tithe, to be here, to help spread the word, to get volunteers to understand if it is a donation that you're able to do, fantastic. And what that goes towards is there's zero percentage that is going to pockets. It's going all back into the community, all for food for the volunteers, for supplies. It's not like certain, you know, organizations that are peeling 25% off the top. These are all free volunteers. Nobody's paid to be here. We all, you know, like they're saying, I mean, with the exception of your company that actually helped, which is amazing, but that's just it. I think that if we can all together, you know, and let's talk about how easy it was too, to sign up and, like, you know.
I made one email.
Exactly.
I made one email and a phone call to work, and that was it.
Right. Yeah, tell them about how, like, when you sign on to the website, so it's www.8daysofhope.com, super simple. So if you want to donate, you can do that. You can also just sign up. There's a button there that says volunteer, and then it's really just you put in your information, right?
Yeah, you put in your name, phone number, the days you can come, and
boom, an email back. See you in Texas.
I emailed the team leader and asked for a spot, and they said, yeah, they're not full, so I left.
Yeah, I was pretty amazed because I got the email back, and before I even opened it, I was kind of like, all right, they're probably gonna say, you know, and they're like, see you here, here's what to bring, we'll see you here. You know, they are trusting people, and I think that's just it, is we're all competent people. We all know, you know, how to make our way. We even flew into the wrong airport, and we're like, no worries, it's okay, we'll make our way, you know what I mean? And we just made it happen. And I think we were talking actually yesterday with some people that I think sometimes the enemy will almost make it harder. You know, we actually were on a different airline, weren't able to get on our flight because we ended up, I don't know, long story, but they were boarding an hour before. That's not normal. Normally you get to the airport about an hour before your flight, but they're boarding an hour before the flight time. Like maybe it was like 45-50 minutes before, so if you didn't have your luggage, you know, there by the time. So anyway, we were checking bags because we had the camera equipment, long story short, we had to do an entirely different airline. So I had to look for flights right then, you know, and I was like, no, we're doing this. This is not, you know, I was like, we are going, we set out to do this. We're packed, we're ready. And that's, I think, where some people go, oh, you know, if it's feeling too hard. No, I'm like, this is, I think, who else was talking? We were talking yesterday at dinner. Same kind of thing. You almost get hit, you know what I mean, with some stuff because it's like seemingly hard and you're like, no, this is exactly how it's supposed to be. It's just that there's stuff that's always going to make it almost more difficult for you to just get here almost. Yep. It's not for everybody, but for us, definitely. I was like, no, we're coming. We're determined. But what about you guys? Any specific things that stick out?
Well, the gentleman that I came down with wanted to use the van over there that I brought. That's actually my work van back
That's a
home.
Cool van.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, but...
Hey, no, you could like live in that van.
But
that's
no,
dope.
he wanted to use it, and he notified me maybe about 2 days before, and I was like, yeah, sure. He's used it many times before on missions trips and things like that in the States, and didn't think anything of it. And then he came and picked it up, and I was at work that morning, and then before he left, I was like, you know, I had hours to pack and get everything ready, and then I decided I'm just gonna come with you. So came down, packed a bunch of stuff, water, tools from the church that we brought down from Ohio, and yeah, just made that jump, and here I am. 7
days later.
7
Are you 7 days?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I had actually quit my job about a week before I heard
No
about this.
way.
Yeah, I definitely would have been able to come if I still had my job.
You wouldn't have been able?
No, for sure. And I had heard about it the Sunday before, and that gave me 2 days to decide if I wanted to do it. But I heard about it at the beginning of a church service, and at the end, I looked over and told my friend I'm going.
Wait, so what were you doing for work?
Nothing. I just had my bank. I quit the week before. I was a roofer.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I'm used to
same thing,
stuff, yeah. So just decided to go. I'm a full-time college student, and emailed all my professors and left the next day.
Wow.
And then I got here, met all these.
You wrote a paper on the way too.
Yeah, I did.
See? What did you write the paper about?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Is it? No. Seriously?
It's a paper on movement of or dance.
Yeah, dance as an art form, as embarrassing as that is.
No, do you understand? You don't though?
No, I can't dance.
I want to see something.
Michael Jackson for it.
I can get a little thriller or something.
I
can do that.
Yeah,
he is one of the greatest artists of all time.
Yeah, let's not.
Do you want to see? I can do it.
Please do it.
Please do it.
Definitely not.
He's like, no, I'm definitely not doing it.
Definitely not. Yeah, so I'm here 8 days later. It's a fantastic thing.
That's so cool.
I love it here. This is the first thing that I've ever done like this.
Really?
Mission trip or anything.
Really?
And I will be back.
You're hooked, right?
I'm hooked.
I know.
I'm already looking for my next one.
That's so cool. Yeah, I think that that's just it. Is just getting to the first job, whatever that looks like. I mean, and to be honest, kind of my testimony has been because I grew up with parents that served. They were with, you know, Campus Crusade for Christ, and they served for many years. It was almost like you have to have your own journey, you know, as an adult. And then I kind of, you know, got into my career, and then I was getting deeper and deeper into it, and just going, there's like this gap. Something isn't feeling right. You know what I mean? And I think it's because, I'll flip this around. I think it's because, you know, there's just certain callings over people's lives. Not everybody. And that's what I want to say. I never like to marginalize people. I never like to make people feel guilty. That's so not the goal, right? It's just more of just going, hey, my journey is this. I feel like there was a gap, and that was my story. Not everybody's called to the same things. But I think, especially because I watched my parents do that, then I was going, wait a second, and I had come out of a conference it was like a do good conference for women empowerment, of just people that are literally changing the world, literally. I mean, there was a woman that spoke from Nepal who at 17 years old decided to take a gap year after high school, started a orphanage. She's now 30, my age. She started an orphanage, a health clinic, a women's center. She has now 53 kids under her name. One woman, 53 kids. And I'm going, okay, yeah, I gotta get to work. I'm going, wow, this is insane. And I think that, again, in such a time as this too, isn't it ironic that in LA last week, we had almost, I think it was like 5,000 to 7,000 acres on fire. You guys are over here knee deep in water. Mexico has, you know, earthquakes, there's devastation across the earth, you know, and I think God's really trying to, hello, just like it said in the Word. You know, there were times that he's a righteous God, and he's going, hello, we need to wake up a little bit.
I think the biggest thing that we need to do is show people on the website how feasible it is to come do this. I think a lot of things that prevent people is they're so busy and everyone's so, you know,
self-induced
cramped
busyness,
for time,
right?
And everything else is so important. Hopefully enough of us get through and this gets seen and people realize that, you know, through 8 Days of Hope, it really is that easy to sign up and get the ball rolling.
The more volunteers we get, you guys, right now, obviously Houston, as you can see, is still in, well, Texas, I shouldn't say just Houston. Texas is in a lot of need. But right now with Irma, I'm like, the more volunteers we get, you guys, I mean, then we can spread and, you know, combine efforts. And I think that's the whole goal. And so that's why we're here, just helping get the word out. And that's why I love how easy this one was. It's just trusting, you know, trusting the process. Everybody's here for the right reasons. And hey, guess what? Even if they're not here for the right reasons, it'll get all sorted. I heard a lot of stories about that yesterday, about, you know, people that were in recovery from addiction or just anything like that. It's just all of a sudden you realize when you're serving others, wow, it's not really about me, is it? You know? And I think that's kind of the interesting, eye-opening experience. And we're all very, you know, fallible people. We all have our own things. But the second you realize, you know, that's what's so cool though about people. We're never meant to be isolated, you know? That was never by design. And so I think that the second that you're together, camaraderie and teamwork is when it all feels good again. And then your heart is like healing. And there's a lot of broken people, broken vessels, raising more broken vessels, and the story goes. But I think that together, that's the whole goal. Being together, and you guys are amazing. There's a lot of people saying a bunch of comments. I can read you guys some.
Yeah, what kind of comments are they typing?
Here we go.
Were they?
Yeah.
The creepy van?
Dance.
Yeah, we want to see that guy.
Jackson again?
Yeah.
Everyone's just thanking you guys and just saying that, we're talking about Florida, you know, I mean, there's a lot going on. It's so good to know that all the proceeds go to the cause. See, I think that's where a lot of concern is. And it's all wonderful to see. I get a little bit disenchanted when I see a lot of celebrities. Okay, and I'm giving $25,000 and I'm giving $25,000. I'm like, okay, but where is it going? Who gets the $25,000? Yeah. Fantastic, whoever, The Rock.
JJ Watt was.
I'm like, I just want to make sure we know. We're sharing some stories. Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah, you have any final, like, what's your takeaway? Where are you from again? Tell us your name and tell us where you're from.
I'm from Nelsonville, Ohio.
All these Ohio. Everyone's Ohio.
Everyone's Ohio. What's my take?
Or just like, what's your takeaway? I mean, have you worked with 8 Days of Hope before? We talked a little bit yesterday, but.
Yeah, I haven't, and I came here with another group from New Point Church in Dover. And then they came, you know, obviously for 8 Days of Grace, and then or 8 Days of Hope, and then we are 8 Days of Hope is actually working out of Grace Community
Oh, the church, yes.
So there's 3 churches involved in just our group.
Wow. And then we represent, you know, a church. I don't know if you guys have heard of the City Church or Judah Smith's church. You guys heard of Judah Smith? Oh, he's a treat. He's a treat. Oh, yeah. I was like, he's a major treat if you haven't heard of him. So he actually has a church in Seattle, but yeah, and then he flies in on Wednesdays to California. So we go to church on Wednesdays.
I'm much more comfortable talking to you.
Hey, no, you're looking at my eyes. It's okay. Hey, we're all just sharing. Feel free to share. We're just actually live on my YouTube channel, so no pressure. No, just kidding.
Thanks.
No pressure now.
Let's get an extreme close-up.
Let's get an extreme close-up. No, it's fine. Nobody, I mean, we're all just sharing, getting the word out. I think that's the whole thing. We've had some good convo.
I mean, people can see all the you know, all the stuff that's coming out of people's homes.
Yeah.
And it's just incredible.
I know. How about you guys share with us kind of the process of like, well, they're heading out. So bye guys, safe travels. Thank you guys for sharing so much.
Thank you.
Everyone be praying for their journey back. They've got a 19-hour road trip. So heading back in the van. But what's the process of when you guys come to a house? What's like the first initial thing that needs to be done?
Usually, like John's our supervisor, and he's talked to the homeowner already, and they establish pretty much what, you know, they want to tear out and things that they want. A lot of it is if they have, you know, things inside the house that they need to remove before we even start doing demo, we remove those things and pack up the things that they want to keep and try to separate those stuff. And
like
then,
certain of this furniture was okay.
some of it, yeah, and some of it is questionable. So, you know, if it is and we can't, you know, speak with the homeowner, because a lot of them aren't even here still.
Yeah.
You know, they'll come and, you know, we'll talk to them at first and they leave. So, yeah, we try to, you know, separate their belongings and then, you know, and then we start in a room and just tear it out.
And so if the water, because the water had been sitting in this house for a little while. Huh?
Yeah, and there's actually still water in this house, and this is the first house that actually still had water, and there's probably that much water underneath the hardwood floors in this house.
And
so,
I saw that it was buckling a little bit. Cause that's
right, she was talking about mosquitoes, and there is a lot of mosquitoes out here, but the reason they're so bad here is because there's actually still standing water.
Still so much water.
But we tore off some of the floor and then sucked it up with a vacuum.
Okay.
And so, and we did that yesterday, so a lot of the water, you know, was kind of dried up a little bit. This is probably the biggest house that we worked on since I've been here. So
see you guys.
I think this is maybe our 11th house we've done.
Okay, so they've assessed 204.
204.
And then how many have you guys actually?
I would say probably around 60.
60?
40 is the last number, but that was like last week they told us. We can find out when we're in the car headed to the next shop.
Our Ohio group, though.
Oh, I get you. You guys have already done.
Yes, well, our group has done. We've done 11 houses, and we also did. We did some work for.
Oh, if you look up my name, L-Y. Oh yeah, you guys can watch me live right now. If you look up my name, Lynette, L-Y-N-E-T-T-E, and then it's like my middle name is like Sine, but with, or it's like Renee, but with a C. So C-E-N-E-E.
All right. See you
guys.
We also did a women's recovery center. We pulled up some carpet and, you know, helped them move around some things in there too. So that's the only like actual business, it's nonprofit.
Okay.
Yeah, some of the houses aren't really bad, and there was one house that we went to that, you know, had some wind damage and things like that, but it was built up high enough, so, you know, they really didn't get water inside their house. So they were kind of fortunate. But yeah, I mean, people are so thankful, and I mean, a lot of the homeowners are actually in tears when we're leaving. And it's there was a house day before yesterday, I think it was Saturday, we was there, and we walked in and they hadn't even touched anything in the house, and all the neighbors, they had their yard was probably from here to the house right here, and if you square it off like this, like a triangle, that's all the room they had to put all their belongings and all the stuff out there. And the whole street was just piled up out. And so we had to figure out a way to, you know, get everything out of the house and clean it out, and it was just, the transformation was incredible.
Wow.
We went in there in, I think, 6 hours. We managed to get everything out of the house and get it all cleaned up, and she was just in tears when we it's really emotional.
And I think it's probably emotional too, just because, I mean, typically when you buy a house, you buy it and it's best. You're like viewing your house, you're excited. You've never seen your house at its bare bones unless you built it yourself. Right. So I think that's what the emotional, you're going, whoa, how is this gonna get fixed? You know what I mean? Like, it just seems.
There might be some, I think a lot of it, the biggest for me, I mean, I've done construction, you know, most of my life. So for me, the biggest worry is how to clean it up.
Yeah.
How are we going to get all this stuff out of here, and when are they going to come and take and get this stuff so we can get back to normal? The smell, I don't know if you've been to other hurricane places, but the smell is always the same. And you know, until they get everything cleaned up, I mean, it might be months before that smell goes away. And I think most people don't really get over a lot of the until that smell is gone.
Stuff is gone.
Yeah, until that smell is gone. So hopefully it rains here, you know, in the next few weeks, and that'll hopefully help with. But the weather's been beautiful here. So I mean, from day one, I think it's been 70 every day. So
Yeah.
I can't complain about it.
Yeah, it feels good out here now. A little humid, but it's okay. We're rocking and rolling. No, we're just
You should walk around inside the house. So
yeah, let's go back inside.
Right?
Yeah. And this has to go all the way to the ceiling because the mold went all the way up.
Wow.
That grows, and that's why all of it has to go, because it's going all the way up to the top. So, where should we go, Miss Cameron? You want to introduce yourself? Why don't you introduce yourself and talk about what you've been doing with your parents for all this time? This is Cameron. Oops, I flipped it back on myself. This is me.
Are you still rocking?
Still rocking.
Awesome. Any questions from people?
One person asked how they could donate, and they asked if they could donate clothes, which 8 Days of Hope isn't doing clothes donations.
Yeah, that's not the greatest area of need, right?
No.
That's really nice that they would offer that.
Yeah.
What other responses?
Here.
That's the only
Feel
one I've
free.
seen.
We got some really amazing feedback from
Hey everyone.
One of the people actually said that
Yes.
they didn't go on vacation. They
What I want to say is
they
that.
planned to go to the beach, but they came here.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
wow. People planned the beach but came here instead. That's amazing. Well, there'll be more on this later, but the message that I want to put out, and I'm going to be hopefully singing a song later about it, is that we are the ones we have been waiting for. You know, everyone's like, oh man, some people out there need to do something and we need to pray. I'll be hi, how are you guys? I'll be the first to admit it, is that, you know, we're like, man, let's pray for these people. And yes, of course, that's the call, you know, when we pray to the Almighty, we call out to God, but then there's a response, and we are also the response. So we felt kind of like, wow, why don't we go help? And I think that evokes a response when you ask the right questions. You know, how can I help? How can I do my part? What can we do about all of this that isn't good? Well, everyone can do something. You can't be everything to everyone, but surely you can be something to someone.
Well, and I think that's, you know, where when we had reached out, we were like, because they said bring work boots, bring some stuff. And they were like, honestly, the pastor called us from, well, one of the founders of 8 Days of Hope, and he said, to be honest, he's like, we honestly have
It's 12:34.
a need to get the word out. He
Yeah.
goes, that's honestly where, so if you guys can help in the very least by just spreading the word, by retweeting, by posting, that is kind of where they said that they need a lot of help, is just getting the word
Share.
out. And they said, hey, we would love it if you guys could come and do a story, because that's actually where we could use you a lot greater than you guys, you know, doing contract work.
Yeah,
so I was pretty,
Yes.
That's why it feels really awkward for me to be live streaming right here when people are working. But he was saying, God has gifted you, Lynette, with a voice.
Yes.
And that is something that I think you can use, and that would be extremely helpful, is to help be kind of a cheerleader behind 8 Days of Hope, getting the word out there. You know, Corey has the ability to post on HuffPost.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, you know, it's an interesting thing, and it's hard for me. Like, in my heart, I'm like, I want to go in and and we have done a little bit of that, but it's like God really is helping us understand that by just being here, by getting the word out, by taking the time to spread awareness, God can actually work through that too, which is a interesting thing.
Yeah, it could be something as simple, just like linking this message either now or in the future on your Facebook or whatever you think would cause people to watch. Because, hey, it takes a lot of energy. People, you know, a lot of times I think even creatives can be overlooked. It takes a lot of focus and a lot of discipline. Like, if you went and watched my Instagram story, I'm doing a great job responding to a question that I was asked by my mentor, who passed on at 92 years young. And he said, how are you documenting your process? Well, I've been on that journey the moment I heard that question, and I take it really seriously. And now with the technology, like being able to make a daily story, we're in very interesting times. I think the greatest thing about what's going on in the world is that our voices can be heard across the world. We can turn on and shoot in 4K and bring you in on the ground here, literally, so you can see what maybe is not being seen by popular media. And I'm not slamming anyone. Everyone tries to do their part, but we as independent producers and individuals have the ability to document the process, the one that we are all a part of, the process of the life experience. And we're doing our best, Lynette and I think that, you know, to affirm her, it takes a lot of energy to turn this on and let your voice be heard, and not, well, I'm tired, well, I don't want to, man, they must really like that camera in their face all the time. We hear a lot of stuff, and you know what, you do it. You know, at the very least, you do it. You turn on the camera and open your mouth and tell the truth and inspire others to inspire themselves. That's what we need to be doing. It's really nice to be inspired, but you can fill that inspired tank up long enough till you've got to pour it out. You've got to pour it out. You've got to do something and take radical action if you believe that there is a change that needs to be made. What is the question that we need to be asking in order to evoke the change that we seek? The change that we seek is everyone needs to experience love, not just talk about it. Not everyone needs to experience what it's like to live a full, inspired experience. And you know, I think the best way to do that is to serve others. My wife, who's the daughter of a missionary, you guys love her. Give some hearts. I know that you do. You don't love her as much as I do, just so you know. It's not possible. But we want to make a statement. We want this to be public, that we are out here as a couple, as a married couple, and we're doing our very best to bring you inside of an area of need in our backyard.
And it's funny, remember, I don't know if you guys were watching since earlier, but the guys were talking about how, man, it'd be interesting, or it's interesting how people come for one trip and then they want to come back. We're already figuring out ways that we can work with 8 Days of Hope again.
Yeah.
While they're out here for the next 8 weeks. And, you know, he's right. The second that you it clicks in your brain, you're like, oh yeah.
My life isn't about me. And I think the Bible's funny. I'm talking to males out there, so don't be offended, ladies. But I always pick on guys. It's a funny scripture verse. It says, a man wrapped up in himself makes for a small, itty-bitty little package. I add a little extra paraphrase there just to get the point across. If you're a guy, I'm sure you laughed or giggled, or maybe you were offended, depending on if you're a man wrapped up in your own self. Hey, do I look official? We couldn't breathe in the mold earlier. But just remember, if your life is all about you and everything that you want and everything that you're lacking, don't believe that crap. It's all crap. Oh man, life is just about what you want. What do you want? What's gonna make you happy? I'll tell you what's gonna make you happy. Making other people happy. Life is about what you can share. You know, if you feel like you don't have anything to share, then you've probably become really selfish. And you've probably become very self-interested, and you might feel empty inside. Well, there's no good reason to feel that way if you just open your perspective and open your mind and realize that you can do something. You know, these people here simply are going in people's homes and doing the dirty work that no one wants to do, and they're bringing it out to the streets. And one house at a time, you guys, one house at a time, these trucks come and they just, with their cranes, and they just put it in the back of the truck until it fills up. They only have 25 trucks total doing that, and there are thousands of homes that still have been underserved. So, and this is just Austin, you guys. What about this hurricane in Florida? I think people need to rise up. God's trying to get our attention. And if you're sitting there inactive and you're just way, you know, you're overly involved in your phone, knock it off. You don't need to spend your whole life on your phone. You know, at least it's a part of our lives. We're trying to at least make it purposeful. Like, hey, if we've got these phones and we're paying, you know, through the roof for service and data, well, we might as well think about it like an investment in our production of our stories. I wish I were there with you. I can't. Oh, I missed that message. Does it archive the messages?
You can look at them like this.
Oh, okay. Here, why don't you read the ones that I missed, honey?
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot. Let's see. Go like this. Wait, why isn't it going? There you go.
Okay. God is so good at these times. He's good all the time. Yes. Love you both. Thank you. We love you too. Hello there from New Orleans. God bless you. I really want to help out. Just go to the website. Share this message, you guys. How about that? You know, the easiest, the free thing to do is just share this message. Hang on, let me see if I can go back here. Show. I missed that. Please go on my Instagram. If you just search my name, Corey Ferrugia, you guys can see the story. I just updated it all the way through yesterday. I've been very disciplined about documenting the process, and something like this is important, so I've taken it to another level. You can see some clips from Lynn and I and our experience yesterday. Today is all live, so it's happening right now, but you might see this archived in the future. I'm gonna sit down for a second, keep it steady. So, as you can see behind me here, this stuff's gotta go somewhere, and someone's got to
walk around
to bring it out. I think it makes it shaky. Do you want to walk around with it? This really isn't my time. Did you lose stamina?
No.
Oh, okay. Because we're doing this to say, hey, our goal is 8 hours.
We're going over a span.
Over a span of 8 hours for 8 days of hope.
Straight, because obviously my phone would die before 8 hours. So we're going over a span.
We're dedicating our energy for the next 8 hours. Well, from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you're in Pacific Standard Time, that would be your 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. To raise awareness. So share this message. If it's archived, you can share it. And we are doing our best to get it out there, so we need your help. I donated a bit, and sadly the most I can. Don't worry about it. Share this message. Let people see it. Let your voice be heard with us. We're just hosting. We're just narrators. You know, the internet, YouTube is like new TV, and this is a live broadcast production of what's happening here in Houston, Texas, and the area surrounding that. And we have been vetting stories. We've been vetting stories and documenting the process of those that have been out here doing the work that someone's got to do. And we're asking those that can't do it or can't join us. For one, if you can volunteer or you're thinking about it, pray about it. Figure out there's a way. Lynn and I spent our own money. You know, we spent our own finances to be able to come help. So, you know, we wanted to make a commitment, put our money where our mouth was, so that we're not just talking the talk, but we're doing our best to walk the walk. Become what you believe. Become who you say that you are. We can't be talking. We need to start doing. My encouragement, especially if you're a believer, if you claim to be a Christian and you are not disciplined, you are not discipled, and you are not doing something and taking action, you are not understanding the meaning of the message of love. We've got to become love. We've got to be his hands, be his feet. So I'm not trying to preach, but at the same time, I am. I make no apologies. Hey, Corey is doing good. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm doing my best to open my mouth and my soul and my heart. The Bible says to love the Lord God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, and with all of your mind. Your soul is your voice. So out of the abundance of my heart, the things that have been stored up and welled up within me, you are hearing that flow out of my mouth in real time. I'm not scripting any of this. I'm just narrating what I see. Let me show you what I see. This is powerful, you guys. Storytelling right now, you are experiencing audio, visual, and literal storytelling. We have technology right now that if you are listening to my voice, I am a writer, and I'm going to be literally writing. Yeah, let's do it. Hey, would you be willing to tell a story? We're live broadcasting right now with Lynette's YouTube channel and share it. We've got people watching.
We met this lovely lady yesterday.
I'm trying to answer the responses. I've been asked for assistance in Conroe, but
oh really?
We can't go that far out. That's 58 miles from here.
Oh wow.
There's a big Hispanic community over there, and they just text and ask for help.
Amazing. Well, if you could share your name and also your title that you said stuck with me. I've shared it with other people. You said you are a disaster missionary.
Yeah, a disaster relief missionary.
Unbelievable.
So,
what's your name?
yeah, my name is Snooki. Hi, everybody. Make sure when you're doing this kind of stuff. Now, I want you to understand these are not glasses because you see there's air ventilation here because it gets so hot that you want to have eye protection, but you want to be able to have
dust out.
Dust out, but your eyes to be able to breathe.
Hey, we have a really awesome story in here.
Well, that's next.
Awesome story. There's so many awesome stories.
There's so many.
Please share yours.
What do you want to know?
Well, I'd want to say from
What's been your experience?
describe your experience and how maybe you got involved with 8 Days of Hope and maybe lead into something that was maybe a gold nugget kind of story that you could pass on that people would be inspired by.
I have so many gold nugget stories.
I bet you do.
And that's not a brag. That's
No,
just the
of course.
reality of
your
being in
experience.
this type of missions work. Because when you serve in this area, there's just so many people, you know, whether it's a flood or whether it's a hurricane or whether it's a tornado or whether it's a fire, you know, it hits all people, all colors, all ethnic backgrounds, all social backgrounds, all educational backgrounds. I mean, people from all walks of life. Disaster, there's no discrimination in disaster.
Of course.
And so, you know, it gives the world a chance to come together in unity, you know.
I think that's exactly what God's trying to send a huge message, huh? Kind of like what's going on in Charleston all over. It's like, guys, wake up. Why are we fighting about unproductive things?
Exactly. We have to, you know, transcend out of that.
Yes.
And disaster is one thing that, I mean, yes, it's disaster. Disaster is disastrous. But it brings out the best in our human qualities, you know. And so there are some amazing, you know, miraculous stories that are going to come from people having, you know, been in disaster here in the Houston area and the surrounding areas. I mean, because that gravitates to the Houston border into Louisiana, and it's going to continue on. The same thing right now with Irma hitting, as it's hitting in the Keys, and it's going to be going upward towards Georgia and Alabama. So, you know, we're in prayer for them, and they're going through what Houstonians just went through 2 weeks ago. So, you know, we pray that there'll be more people if they haven't gotten involved in serving even in their community or their next door neighbors. I mean, if you're next door to Alabama or next door to Georgia or next door to Florida, or if you have some time, you know, come out and support your fellow Americans or anybody who's in that. I mean, there's people who are on holiday from other countries that are getting hit, you know, just support people. If you happen to be in the area with a disaster, you know, feel led to help out your fellow humanity. And in Lakota, you know, we have the word oyate, which, you know, Mutkuya Oyasin means all our relations. But Mutkuya Oyasin, all our relations, also refers to the animals. Okay, everything that is living and breathing, and that's the trees and the grass and the rocks. So, you know, when you're dealing with disaster, know that you're not just helping each other, but so many of these people, for example, this is the first year actually that when I participate in search and rescue also with KG Special Ops. This is the first year really we've gone in, and when someone is rescued, you can take your pet with you, because so many people have said, okay, I'll leave my pet. You can't bring your pet. But then they turn around and the water will still be 4 feet high, and they're going to risk their life to go back because they didn't realize what an impact that pet made in their life. That pet, it's living, it's breathing, it has a spirit, that type of thing. So, it extends. So,
could you describe how you got engaged with 8 Days of Hope? You said that you've done this work before, but
yes.
How did you get involved with that?
How we got involved with 8 Days of Hope is my husband and I just were really led to go into missions work. And we had actually heard about 8 Days of Hope, and we had heard it on the radio, like AFR. And it was a time when there were no disasters. Nothing was going on. And at that time, and I'm a new widow. I've been widowed for 4 months now.
Wow.
And my husband died in the mission field. We opened a chainsaw ministry to service North Dakota during the blizzard time this last year, from December to March. December 5th, blizzards descended on North Dakota over at Cannibal. And so we had 5,000 people that were in blizzard conditions, and we opened a cabin and helped supply wood so that people could live. There was nothing to cook with, and if you need water to drink, if you can't melt the water, there's no water, So you say fire is life when water is ice.
Yeah.
That's my saying. It gets that deep. So we did that, and I lost my husband from that. But we had determined that we wanted to be in full service to God, and prayed about what way to go about that, and the Lord really laid 8 Days of Hope on our heart. And again, there was no disaster. It was like, what do we do? What do we do? So we became involved in Curcio, a prison ministry, because a lot of people are not free. And we can walk around here and we're not free. We have chains, and we're more so, some of us, in bondage, and we're free to walk about than somebody who's incarcerated. And so we felt trapped, imprisoned in the fact that we desired to serve but didn't know how, and the Lord just really impressed 8 Days of Hope upon our hearts. So we prayed about it, and we went into covenant, and we had a communion service, just my husband and I, and broke bread.
That's
and
so
prayed
special.
to God. And we went into covenant with him. And the first event that actually, the natural disaster that came up was Hurricane Isaac that hit LaPlace, Mississippi. And so we were all set to go and all excited, and we had a motorhome, and it had been totally refurbished inside, and it just sparkling clean new.
Wow.
And 3 weeks before heading out to the missions, my husband, we just washed it, taken it to the the car wash, and cleaned it up, and we've reversed it back into our space, and it caught fire.
Wow.
And so in 10 minutes everything was gone. So here we are, we're going to report to LaPlace, Mississippi, and we didn't have our motorhome. We had no home. So basically, that was an opportunity for us to truly be able to minister to people's hearts, because in the midst of our own disaster, in the midst of our own adversity, we still were able to reach out to be the hands and feet of Jesus Christ.
Beautiful.
Even when we had nothing on our own. And we had people at that time that thought we were really strange. They think we're Jesus freaks. And they say it literally. And I'm proud to be a Jesus freak, by the way, just you know.
I think of the DC Talk song.
That's
I'm dating myself.
Love DC
What
Talks.
would people think when they hear that I'm a Jesus freak?
Oh, hey, it's all
Come
good.
on.
Yeah, it's all good. But
wow, so powerful.
So that's what happened, literally. And people from our church who didn't understand and would say, well, hey, you shouldn't go. You've had a disaster. You need to get an apartment. You just need to stay and sort yourself out and get an apartment.
Calm
really
down
logical.
for yeah.
And I'd say, great. What would you want me to put in the apartment? I don't have anything to put in there. We're going to be gone on missions. Why do I want to pay a first deposit? A deposit, first and last month's rent. For what? I'm not going to be there. We're going to be serving. So they're like, they didn't understand that. Oh, you need stuff. Okay, well, I'll bring you stuff so you could put it in your apartment, right? So, okay.
I don't want your
I said,
stuff.
so you'd be really nice, and I'd say, you know, you don't want people to think that, you know, you don't appreciate what they're doing. And I'd say, yes, okay, that's great. Thank you so much, but I appreciate all your things, but I'm not going to be home. You know, I won't be home. Don't worry about it. And they say, oh, it's no problem. I'll just knock on your door, and if you're not there, you know, it's okay. I'll just leave it on your front porch. I'd say, that really is great, but I don't have a front door, and I don't have a porch. You know, so
Just
people,
so you know.
So what I'm trying to explain is that people want to help, they don't understand to help, and getting the full impact of what disaster really is. And so the Lord, I believe, and my husband believe, put us in that position. So then when it came time to serve, when it, you know, when I would meet a homeowner, my husband, when I would meet the homeowner with the team, and they would say, oh my this and oh my that, I could say, you know, I really not only feel you, but I know exactly what that's like, because right now I don't have anything either, but it's okay. We can get through this together.
Wow.
We can get through this together.
You touch on something that I think is a really, really big part of this, that my curiosity has been like, define help. Because it's such a broad word. Help is like help. And it's probably, if you interviewed every single, you know, 100 different people in America and said, hey, define help, you might get 100 uniquely different responses. But from your perspective, and of course we're curious, I'm curious, of saying you have gone through a threshold in your life that most have not, of saying, I have been free from materialism, and I have given my life to missions. People that aren't churched and maybe aren't believers, how would you describe help and missions work?
Well, for us, it's and I say us because you know, my husband, you know, we're blessed to come into a body, and we leave. We're still here. We're spirit. He's with God. So I say us because he's still with me.
Yes,
I just like to say I have a drone pilot, so I have a bird's eye view. He gives me drone information.
Chills.
But anyway, as far as for helps go, I'm biblical in how we serve the Lord, and I'm 100% faith-based. If people would like to bless me with, you know, a gift for gas money, that's pretty much it. We literally take up our bed and follow him. So I don't have a motorhome. When I leave this location, I will move on to wherever the Lord says I need to be for that next disaster. It was Lafayette, and then from Lafayette, well, actually before Lafayette, I went to the Flint water crisis. I did some water things for some of the Native American groups. So basically, even if I go back further than that, so for December 2016, right? We're in 2017. So from December 2016, I was in Cannonball, North Dakota, then I went to Kansas, Missouri, to Flint, Michigan, up around to Montana, to drop down to come to Lafayette. Okay, then from Lafayette went to Flint, Michigan, and then from Flint, Michigan went to Farmington, West Virginia, which was right before here. From Farmington, West Virginia, I was going to come to go to Lafayette, Louisiana for a rebuild, but hurricane season hit, and so I ended up at doing you know, search and rescue. I'm USAR certified, so search and rescue for Hurricane Harvey, that and we serviced both Louisiana and Texas for search and rescue till then, the date when 8 Days of Hope could open up, and you know, you're allowed back into the city to provide relief. And so basically I'm on the road. I'm on the road.
You've taken the term, let's take the show on the road all of the way.
It's all the way. It's take up your bed and follow Christ, and literally, biblically.
Show the world.
Literally, biblically. I have a cot and I have a sleeping bag, and our 8 Days of Hope clothes. And
now, do you engage with like social media and share your story, and like, you know, post photos and blog, anything like that?
Yes, I would love
Please promote it.
Thank you. You can find me on Facebook.
Okay.
I don't have a YouTube channel yet.
What's your name on Facebook? Hang on one second. We'd like to interrupt this podcast sponsored by a helicopter.
You can find me, I'm Snookie Correa. Snookie rhymes with cookie. It's SNOOKIECORREA. And it's a picture of a Native American Wonder Woman because some of my followers have called me Wonder Woman, so I'm Native American Wonder Woman. And
you
so they
most
sent
certainly are who you say you are.
No, I didn't say it. They
branded you.
They branded me and they got me the T-shirt. So I put.
That is brilliant.
So Marilyn sent me this this sketch of Native American Wonder Woman. So you'll see that as my main logo. And then I have Ochete Oyate from Cannonball, North Dakota. So I have Ochete Oyate Camp up in the blizzard, picture of, so it's teepees and a dome in the snow over that. So
beautiful. So Facebook's the best place to find you?
You can find me on Facebook.
You're posting photos and messages and things like that?
Yes, and just
please add her, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
go add her right now. I want her to be so blessed. I want Snookie to be blessed. Add her right now. Why not? This is one of the most inspiring individuals I've encountered in a while. So how many people do you know have dedicated their lives to be disaster relief missionaries? I know one, and it's Snookie.
Well, God has blessed me richly, and God, He's blessing you, all of you. He's blessing all of you, and I'm just really honored and humbled that I have the opportunity to serve such an amazing, living God. And,
amazing.
I'm honored to share my story with you, and yes, please friend me by huge demand. I've made all my posts public now. I used to just friend, but everything's public now.
Please.
So come, please take a peruse, make comments, tag me into stuff so I can see what you're doing and learn all about you.
We might cap out soon on your personal page and have to set up a fan page for you.
Could you teach me how to do that? I don't know.
It's the easiest thing. I will.
Will you? Okay.
I most certainly will.
I would love that, and I would like to interview you on my page too.
I would love that.
That would be wonderful.
Well, in fact, tonight I wanted to say, because we're from Tucson, Lynn and I, and there's Native American culture very, very close. So there was a mentor of mine who is part Native American, and he said something to me one time, very wise, and he said a statement, and I guess it's a Native American proverb. It says, "We are the ones we have been waiting for."
Yes.
You've heard this before.
Yes.
I've turned that into a song, and I'm going to be sharing it tonight.
Awesome.
So our live broadcast that's going to go all the way to 8 p.m. It's going to bleed through the roundup tonight, and I'm dedicating that song. Like I co-wrote it with a really great songwriter in LA, and I shared him this vision. I was like, I really feel like there needs to be a song as almost like it's a message to the world. It's
That's
an anthem.
Awesome. And I have my prayer drum. I can play for you.
Wait, you got your drum with you?
Absolutely.
Well, it is this very simple song.
We can pray and burn sage and.
You're on my level, honestly.
We're set.
Let's do it. So tonight, you guys can look forward to that. It just happened right now.
Absolutely.
A very mystical sort of collaboration.
Absolutely.
And we are going
Spirit-led.
Spirit-led. That's what we're doing. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, and self-control. Snookie, thank you so much. And you guys better friend her right now. So let her know. Love you.
Peace.
All right, we're gonna take it inside. We'll talk to you later, Snookie. Okay. What'd you guys think of that? Unbelievable. Let's see what Lynn is up to. Apparently, I'm told that she's getting it, quote unquote. Let's figure out what getting it means. All right, look at this. I've got my rapid. Oh, this is what getting it means. What? She goes, Lynn's in there getting it.
Yep.
Look at this. This is my wife. She's got gloves on and everything. Cheer her on. We're not that was such a look at her cute little walk and her cute little booty. I'm sorry.
Be like, can we edit that?
So, Lynn, that interview with Snooki was incredible. She's going to play her prayer drum tonight while I play We Are the Ones We're Waiting For. And she's going to burn sage.
Oh, goodness.
That's going to be amazing.
All right. Are we almost at 2 hours?
We are at 64 minutes and 41 seconds.
Okay.
So this is marathon style. I think we're going to have to take a break to charge up, you guys. But
for the next span. You notice how we said span of 8 hours? That was a trick. For the next span of 8 hours.
Well,
we're going live, but we actually are going to be helping.
Well, I would like to challenge anybody that wants to develop your voice. Let me give you a practical tool. For 30 minutes, turn on your voice memo and walk around your neighborhood and see what comes out of your mouth and try to tell a great story. It could be one about yourself. It could be one about something that's on your mind, something that inspires you. Take 30 minutes and go beginning, middle, to be continued, and see if you can do that, because I'll tell you, that's something I do every single day as a discipline to go, hey, if the world gave you a microphone and said, hey, what do you have to say for yourself? Are you prepared for that moment? If the whole world was listening to what you had to say for the next 30 minutes, what would you say? You know, that's my encouragement. Let me see if I can catch these comments really quick. Lynn just taught me how to do it. Where is the freaking... Can somebody coach me in real time of how I can get the comments popping? Surely. Ooh, that's a button. Show. All right, I've got it. I can't... Let's see. Oh, you guys are just bringing in the love. Yes, I'm going backwards. Let's see. Okay, that's the last thing I saw. Hey, Corey is doing good. Bless you for that. I love encouragement. I really do. Don't we all? I think we can affirm one another and then we can build trust. That's kind of how it works. Okay, I've been praying too. Yes, do it for them. Keep praying. Awesome job. My husband has been shipped out for a month, and now he got shipped out to Orlando, Florida, for who knows how long. Hang on. This thing just disintegrates so quickly. Give me a second, YouTube. If I just hold it. My heart goes out to anyone affected by these hurricanes. Amen, sister. Is there a phone number to call? Not for 8 Days of Hope. You can call Lynn or call me if you want. To help these people in Texas, yes. Well, go to www.8daysofhope.com. It's spelled out. God bless you with all, Corey and Lynette. Thank you, guys. We received that. Amen. So be it. What an amazing story. Cassandra Whitlatch. I agree. That was a beautiful story. I haven't heard one like that in a while. And I'm like a story guy. If you haven't noticed, I like stories a lot. Not just it's what we do in hard times and be there for our friendship. Yes, you are so sweet and amazing friends too. Corey and Lynette, I'm inspired now too. I was told I have breast cancer in June and I want to be able to help. Well, you know what? God is the God of, he is a healing God and has a plan, a perfect plan for each and every one of us. She's so beautiful and amazing person to be able to see, right? You can see it in her eyes. I'll be married for the 12 years. Congratulations. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys. Well, we appreciate you too. That's why we're turning this on. It's not like that. First God, my husband, and career. Thanks for all you're doing. You are good role models for every couple out there. Oh, there's a kitty. Hi, kitty. I've been there for the homeless. I love what you two are doing. Great job of helping them too. I have a family too in Florida. Hey, Lynn and Corey, definitely will be donating to this ministry. Love you. Oh, Mama B, there she is. There she is chiming in. Thank you, family. We are so grateful that you guys are even watching this. Please share this message. Please share it on your Facebook. All you have to do is just link it. We're trying to get as much as awareness as possible to what's going on. Let me take you inside here. Lynn is getting her hands dirty. You'd be proud, Mama B, assuming you're watching this. And if Alan's watching this, I'd love to know your comments too. Maybe. Yeah, that'd be great. Hey, everyone, say hi to Cameron. Hi. This is the daughter of their fearless leader, one of their fearless leaders, Chris, and she's amazing. Cameron's amazing. before you leave, can we have a prayer? Yes. Well, we're not going to leave. Yeah, before we leave, we'll have a prayer. We most certainly are going to pray together. Here you go. Let's bring you inside. Start building another pile. I'll go dump it.
I said, please pray for our daughter in South Carolina. You're good.
Here we go.
Taking everything to the curb.
So it's crazy. Those of you who are just
Speeding
tuning
up.
Those of you just tuning in, watch. Give them a shot over all the way along the. Look at all this stuff, you guys. Take a look. I know what y'all are thinking. You're like, where does all that crap go?
Cassandra, the lady about praying, she said, I know you're not leaving, but before you leave this podcast, pray.
Of course, most certainly we're gonna pray together. So listen, all this garbage at the streets, they've got about 25 trucks total that are going one home at a time, filling up that bin in the back of the recovery relief trucks and like the garbage trucks. They got a crane that takes a big scoop of it, piles in. When that thing fills up, they got to go take it to the dump and start all over, come back where they came. Well, think about how many trips it would take. There's only like 25 trucks. So all these people have to wait. So what the main kind of phase right now is getting all this stuff, gutting it out, because I think Lynn was explaining earlier the mold and the smell and the stuff that it can grow and kind of infest in the rest of the house. So to save that, everything on the ground, they got to dry out the floor, rip out the flooring, all this stuff that's destroyed. They gut out the whole home and make it like a shell, and it piles in the street, and they put it in the back of the trucks, and they got to ship it somewhere. So it's these people have to be very patient. The homeowners, a lot of them just dipped. If they didn't have home insurance, we're hearing about people that just walk away. They walk away from everything, and that's why. Lately, Lynn and I have been she's been posting a lot, and I've really sensed a shift in her about materialism. And we have interviews that you guys can look forward to in this piece that we're going to be putting out of people that literally are talking about the devastation of realizing it's just stuff. It's just stuff. You can see it in its most devastating form here. It's just in its rawest form. It's just stuff. It fills up these homes. And it matters not compared to the stuff that's inside your heart and the things that matter. So it's a really powerful. Hi, Kitty. He's like, I'm gonna come interrupt this broadcast and just kind of make my face known here to the world. But it's a really powerful dynamic to be able to see all this stuff, but then at the same time just hearing and feeling nothing but love as people are showing up.
This is our car.
This is our car?
Yes.
Okay, so this might be a good time. This might be a good time to wrap it up and say a prayer. I'm gonna grab Lynn. Okay, I'm gonna grab Lynn. Not grab her like in a weird way or anything. Sorry, I had to put a little comic relief in there. Don't be offended. People that don't know my humor, I don't typically laugh. I just sarcasm. Hey, Lynn, our car is here. Let's go. So we are taking you right in where at the ground level here. And man, I'll tell you what, it is sure a powerful experience. Hang on one second. Lenny Keynes, we before we leave and cut this, we got asked to say a prayer. So let's do a joint prayer together, shall we?
Okay.
All right. So Lord, we just ask that your love would fill the earth. We ask that your love would fill the earth, and that every individual that can see this message now or archived in the future would realize that there are those out there that love them, and we want your love to extend to every place and to every heart, and that we would be inspired together to tell the truth and help one another in need, and to do all that we know to live out our full potential in you, and to walk with you is to walk in love. So we just simply ask that your love would fill our hearts individually and in our families, our family in blood, family in law, family across the world, and that we would sense that today wherever we are. So thank you. Amen. You want to pray something?
I think we're good.
All right.
Thank you, honey.
All right, guys. So we're going to cut this right now. Did you want to
No, just
say
stay
something?
tuned. We'll be live on, I think it's my Instagram in the next like hour or so. So check
Great.
on Instagram. Just trying to spread it all around, and then a span of 8 hours. So you guys can kind of tune in, look on my Instagram story. We kind of have a little rough schedule.
So we're ready to go. We have to get out of here because the Red Cross is coming right now, handing out hot meals. And we're in the middle of the street.
Do you know where my jacket ended up?
Yeah,
Infinity.
all right,
Okay,
guys,
great.
so stay tuned. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right. Peace.